Evening, folks. Good evening. Glad to be back here. I haven't been in town for some years. Am I in tune? What's happening here? Okie doke. Well, tell you what, I'll start out with my oldest friend in the folk songs. It's as far as I remember, it's the first song I learned how to play on a 5-string banjo 90 years ago today. And I call it my finger warmer upper when she's cold outside, a finger cooler downer when it's warm outside. It's the old MULESKINNER blues. And she goes something sort of like this, I hope. Good morning, Captain. Good morning, son. Yeah, good morning, Captain. Good morning, son. And do you need another MULESKINNER out on your new madras? Now she hey there, little water boy, bring your bucket round. Yeah, hey there, little water boy, bring your bucket round. And if you don't like your job, put your water bucket down. Well, I'm a-working on that new road, $1 and a dime a day. I'm a-working on that new road, $1 and a dime a day. I got 3 women waiting on a Saturday night just to draw my pay. Well, I'm a-working on that new road, rolling all the time. I'm a-working on that new road, rolling all the time. I can pop my initials on the mules behind. Now for Texas, T for Tennessee. Yeah, T for Texas, T for Tennessee. Well, I love old Thelma, but she made a fool of me. Now, good morning, Captain. Good morning, son. Yeah, good morning, Captain. Good morning, son. And do you need another MULESKINNER out on your new madras? Ah, donkey bell, donkey. That's called going fast enough to catch a train. Jesus, God alive. Well, let me think here. What can I do for you? Aha. Oh, hee hee. I'm going to sing you an old-time Kentucky mountain song right out of the Kentucky mountains. And the name of the song is called Darlin' Corey. But to give you an idea what the song's all about, I'll tell you a few words about Darlin' Corey so you know what's a-happening. The first thing you got to know is Darlin' Corey was a woman. And she lived up there in the Kentucky mountains, and what she did to make her spending money is she made moonshine. Moonshine is whiskey. She made moonshine whiskey. Well, making moonshine is all right, but the thing is, it's against the law. And they got what you call special moonshine police that goes a-running around looking for moonshine makers. And they heard about Darlin' Corey up there in the mountains making moonshine, so they started looking for her up there in the mountain. And they looks and they looks and they looks and they looks, and you know those moonshine police, they looks and they looks and they looks and they looks. Up at the top of the mountains and down at the bottom of the mountains and in back of the mountains and in front of the mountains and on the sides of the mountains, and they finally found her in town. And old Darlin' Corey was sitting out there behind the barn drinking moonshine, and this damn moonshine policeman, he peeks around the corner and he sees her there, and he doesn't say one word, holler, skip, or jump, or blow his nose. He just pulls out his pistol and he starts shooting at her. Boom, bam, 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 boom, bam, 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 boom. Well, okay, all right. Old Darlin' Corey, she hears all those bullets whizzing by her ears, and zip, zip, whiz, whiz, zip, 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 whiz, zip, zip, whiz, zip, whiz. And she says to herself, she says, this is dangerous. So she sets down her bottle of moonshine and she picks up what you call a great big old double-barrel 10-gauge shotgun, and she starts shooting back. Boom, boom. Well, okay, so far so good, or so bad. But here's the thing. Moonshine is something like Geneva. If you was to drink a whole bunch of Geneva, you couldn't see what you're shooting at. And if you was to drink a whole bunch of Geneva, you couldn't hit it if you did. Well, that was with old Darlin' Corey. She didn't hit nothing. The moonshine policeman did. Bam, zip, flop. And old Darlin' Corey, she went to what you call heaven right then and there. All moonshine makers go to heaven. My grandmother told me that. My grandmother drank moonshine. And they told me when I was a little boy, they says to me, they says, Derroll, they says, if you drink moonshine, it puts hair in your chest. Well, do you know that I spent years trying to see my grandmother's chest? Yeah, never did see it. Always wondered, you suppose? Okay, there's a little bit of the story. Here's a little bit of the song, Darlin' Corey. wake up, darling Corey. What makes you sleep so sound? Oh, the revenue officers come on, just to break your old still house down. Oh, the first time I saw darling Corey, she was standing in the sand. She was looking kind of worried bad about her man. Wake up, darling Corey. What makes you sleep so sound? Oh, the revenue officers come on, just to break your old still house down. The next time I saw darling Corey, she was leaning in the door. She was looking kind of pretty, and I liked the dress she wore. Wake up, darling Corey. What makes you sleep so sound? Oh, the revenue officers come on, just to break your old still house down. Dig a hole in the meadow. Dig a hole in the ground. Dig a hole in the meadow, just to lay darling Corey down. Wake up, darling Corey. What makes you sleep so sound? Oh, the revenue officers come on, just to break your old still house down. And the last time I saw darling Corey, she was standing in the square. 2 6 guns to wrapped around the middle, and her low down man was there. Wake up, darling Corey. What makes you sleep so sound? Oh, the revenue officers come on, just to break your old still house down. Just to break your old still house down. Just to break your old still house down. Thank you. You know, me and Flemish, I don't suppose I'm ever going to be able to speak Flemish. I've been trying for the last 8 years to say dank u wel. I can get the donk part fairly well, and the vel part I can get sort of okay. But that oo in there, dank u, I don't know. My little daughter, she speaks pretty good Antwerps. She's 4 and a half. And she's been trying to teach me how to speak Flemish. And she gets mad as hell at me because I can't pronounce it right. She says, Dada, you better not speak Flemish, you don't speak it good. Going to sing you the first favorite song I learned as a little boy, or I didn't really learn it, but I sort of learned it. And I always did like this song, and it was sort of an on-the-road song. And I'm originally from a place called Oregon. And up there in Oregon, when I was a young feller growing up, they still had the old freight trains with those fantastic old freight train whistles, those screaming whistles that, Jesus, around about 9 o'clock at night, from way off there when everything is getting quiet, and you hear one of those old freight train whistles screaming, it just sends chills up your back. The most lonely, beautiful sound you ever did hear in your life. It's all gone now. But this is a song from sort of those times, and it's called the Freight Train Blues. You notice I got a left foot that can't seem to keep still. I tried holding it under my arms, tried sticking it in the pocket, didn't work at all, so now I just call it my rhythm section. I was born in Dixie in a boomer's shack, just a little shanty by the railroad track. The humming of the drivers is my lullaby. Freight train whistle taught me how to cry. Freight train blues, got 'em in the middle of my rambling shoes. Freight train blues, got 'em in the middle of my rambling shoes. I know I'm old enough to quit just running around, to ride 100 times I settle down. Every time I find a place I want to stay, freight train whistle send me on my way. Freight train blues, got 'em in the middle of my rambling shoes. Freight train blues, got 'em in the middle of my rambling shoes. Am died, jitchai dum, hi da dum dee. Am died, jitchai dum, hi da dum dee. My daddy was a fireman and my mama, dear, was the only daughter of an engineer. My sweetie is a brakeman and it ain't no joke. Shamed the way she keeps a poor man broke. Freight train blues, got 'em in the middle of my rambling shoes. Freight train blues, got 'em in the middle of my rambling shoes. Hi, Donka. You know, doing that one made me think of another one I haven't done for a while. But this is a pretty good one. It's a wildy one. True story. And it's called I Don't Like No Railroad Man. The first verse goes, I don't like no railroad man. I don't like no railroad man, because a railroad man, he'll kill you if he can and drink up your blood like wine. Beer is better. But where that song comes from, it's kind of a hair-raising story, and it takes place back in the late 1920s, early 30s in the United States of America, and it was during the time of the Depression, which means nobody had any work. Nobody had any work, nobody had any money, and so what the guys did is they started riding on the freight trains to get here and there, or wherever they was a-going. But the way they rode on the freight trains was on the outside. And underneath each train car, about so far underneath, they had a big iron bar, about the size of a banjo neck. And a man could prop himself in on those bars, hold himself in with his hands and his feet, and go cross country wherever he was going. And he generally got there okay. But the railroad companies, they hear about this, see? So they get what you call pissed off as hell. These guys is riding on that train and they aren't paying any money for it. So they get all upset and in a dither. And so what they do is they hire special railroad police, railroad bulls, and they walked along the top of the railroad car, and they had a long cord in their hand, a long rope, and at the end of that rope they had tied one of those railroad spikes, one of those big railroad nails, and they'd walk along the top and they'd swing it underneath the train, and it hit those old tracks and dingle dangle wangle bingle around down there. And if somebody was laying on those rods, the damn thing hit him, knock him off, zip, you'd have what you call filet American. What a way to go. He's hanging on a bar underneath the train. I don't know. Hanging on a bar in a cafe seems a better idea than either. But anyway, it's true. And here's how she goes. I don't like no railroad man. I don't like no railroad man. Well, oh, I don't like no railroad man. 'Cause a railroad man, he will kill you if he can. Drink up your blood like wine. Drink up your blood like wine. Well, he'll drink up your blood like wine. 'Cause a railroad man, he will kill you if he can. Drink up your blood like wine. Got the $9 shawl. Well, old Kempy's got the $9 shawl. She come over the hill with the $40 bill. Baby, where you been so long? Baby, where you been so long? Well, oh baby, where you been so long? Well, I've been in the pen with them rough and rowdy men. Baby, where you been so long? Well, oh, I've got a home in Tennessee. Well, oh, I've got a home down in sunny Tennessee. She's rolled on, nobody roll on. Roll on, nobody roll on. Well, a roll on, nobody roll on. Wouldn't roll so slow if you knew what I know. She's rolled on, nobody roll on. Now I ain't got no home, I'm just a rambling round, hard-working rambling man, wherever I may roam. Ain't got no home in this world anymore. Now as a farmin' on the shares, and always I was poor. My crops I put into the banker's door. My wife lay down and died up on the cabin floor. I ain't got no home in this world anymore. Oh, I ain't got no home, I'm just rambling round, hard-working, rambling man, go from town to town. The police make it hard wherever I may roam. I ain't got no home in this world anymore. Through this world you roam, yes, through this world you roam. It's an old folk custom called forgetting the words, dang it all. Ain't got no home in this world anymore. Oh, I ain't got no home, I'm just rambling around. Hard-working, rambling man, I go from town to town. The police make it hard wherever I may roam. Ain't got no home in this world anymore. Craziest business is you can sing a song 49,000 million times. Suddenly you're up in front of a bunch of people that you never saw most of them before, and your old heart's a beating. You come to that next verse and like well, it's not so bad when you're in a small place with a sort of few intimate friends, but God Almighty, when you're in one of those places where there's 49,000 people sitting out there, and they're all looking at you. And you forget the words. Jesus, and your heart stops. You know, your hair falls out a little bit more, you know. And you say to yourself, damn it all to hell, tomorrow I'm quitting this business and I'm going to drive a taxi cab. Talking about taxi cabs makes me think of Oregon. Up there they don't have many of them. But up in Oregon, you won't believe this, but to this day, to this very day, ladies and gentlemen, Oregon isn't very far removed from the Old West. The mentality hasn't moved an inch in the last 100 years, and the way of life, well, it hasn't changed really all that much either. They got cars and they got television. Well, for example, when I left Oregon in 1950 and went to California, up in Oregon, television was something we read about in the books and magazines, you know, and we were saying, isn't that amazing? And I got down to California and every house had one. Jesus God. Well, the mentality is like that too. It's just incredible. And there's not many people living up there because, well, the weather is very bad and the land is very rough. For example, weather. Well, it rains, let's say, 8 months of the year cold. And then it rains 3 months of the year warm. And they call that summer. And the raindrops is as big as the footballs. And when the sun does come out, the mosquitoes come out with it. And folks, in Oregon, mosquitoes is as big as chickens. And they're all starving to death. Hiya, Colt, how you doing? You wonder why I'm so thin. I have type O blood, and that's what mosquitoes love up in Oregon. Well, also up in Oregon, we have lots of forest, lots of big trees, and in those forests and big trees, we have what you call loggers. I think it's a Houtstraat, the man that chops down the Houtstraat? Houtstraat, that's it. You're right. Well, you have lots of Houtstraaters up there. Good thing my daughter didn't hear that. And ladies and gentlemen, in Oregon, Houtstraaters are just, well, they're what you call bulging in muscles. Their muscles is bulging in muscles. They got muscles between their ears. You never saw so many muscles. Do you know that if you took a bottle of whiskey and you poured it on a bale of hay, hay is what horses eat, do you know that a logger would eat the hay? They never shave their whiskers off at all. They take a hammer and hammer them in. These all Well, this is a song about a woman that had a logger for a lover. Oh, God, it's a terrible thing. And he went running over to see her one day, you know, bumpity, 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 bump. And he goes a-running in the door there without opening it at all. He just went, boom. And he goes a-running in there and he sees her huddled over in the corner. And he throws his arms around her and he gives her a great big squeeze. Well, he is so strong that it breaks 3 vertebrae in her back. Then he gives her a great big kiss. He is so strong that it breaks her jaw. Well, she didn't mind that so much because she's used to it. But the thing that got her down, the thing that worried her, is she couldn't open her mouth to tell him he forgot his jacket, his coat, his mackinaw. And the thing is, it was freezing cold outside. There was icicles hanging all over everything, and the wind was a-blowing, and snowballs was a-flying, and oh, it's terrible. It's just terrible, you know. Oh, yeah. All she could say is like, and he says, all right, honey bunch, I'll see you Thursday, he says. He says, all right, I'll bring a chicken with me, he says. And he goes a-running out there through the snow and the ice and the blizzards and the winds and the things. And at 100 degrees below zero, he buttons up his shirt. At 200 degrees below zero, he puts his shoes back on. And at 1,000 degrees below zero, ladies and gentlemen, that man froze solid. Now, this is the part that you won't believe. But Scouts Honor, but Scouts Honor, this is the truth. I was there, I saw it with my own eyes. They didn't want to just throw him in a hole in the ground and cover him up with a bunch of dirt because he's a good logger, you know, and covered in muscles and things. And so what they did is they tried to unfreeze him, and they stuck him in the oven in this big stove, and they closed the door and they put in a whole bunch of wood and sizzle, 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 you know. Nothing to have at all. He was just so tough, he stayed froze. So they tried this and they tried that, and nothing worked at all. So what they did is they made axe blades out of him. You know what an axe is? An axe is what you chop down the trees with. They made axe blades out of him, and to this day, if you ever, any of you, get up to Oregon and you see some loggers up there running around in the woods chopping down trees and things, you go on up and take a look at the side of their axe, and to this very day, it says right on the side of the axe, this is the truth. It says right on the side of the axe, it says 100% pure frozen logger. I told you you wouldn't believe. Okay, there's the story. Here's the song, Frozen Logger. I sat down one evening, 'twas in a small cafe. A 40-year-old waitress to me these words did say, I see that you're a logger, sir, and not a common bum, for no one but a logger stirs his coffee with his thumb. I once had a logger lover, there's none like him today. If you poured whiskey on it, he'd eat a bale of hay. He never shaved a whisker from off his horny hide. He hammered in the bristles and he bit them off inside. My logger came to see me, 'twas on a winter's day. He held me in a fond embrace, it broke 3 vertebrae. He kissed me when we parted, so hard it broke my jaw. I couldn't speak to tell him he'd forgot his mackinaw. I saw my logger lover go a-striding through the snow, going gaily homeward at 48 below. The weather tried to freeze him, it really did its best. The 100 degrees below zero, he buttoned up his vest. Now it froze clean down to China and it froze stars above. 1,000 degrees below zero, it froze my logger love. In vain they tried to thaw him, and would you believe it, sir? They made him into axe blades to cut the Douglas fir. Well, I tell you what, I'll sing you another favorite of mine. This is by some people called the Carter family. Maybe some of you heard of them too. And they were the favorite musicians of Woody Guthrie, which at that time, all those Carter family, I don't remember when I first heard them all my life. There wasn't so many records and things in those days, but most of us had a little old radio stuck here or there somewhere. And I used to hear them on the radio fairly often, quite a bit. And I always did like them. They had a most sort of pure, what I always called mountain type of harmony you ever heard in your life. But it was kind of sad because in those days everybody was saying, oh, that's just a bunch of hillbilly junk. And when the folk scene started coming along, or American music began to be called folk music, well, it was a political scene, and if the song didn't have social meaning to it, social consciousness, well, then everybody says it was still junk. And the Carter family was considered junk, which I never did really truly quite understand, because I thought they was pretty good all those years. But then one time old Pete Seeger comes out and he says, Carter family's all right. And so the whole world, the whole folk song world started saying, that Carter family's all right. But I went down to California and they got down there, met old Woody, and I got talking to him and asked him, who do you like? Who is his kind of favorite musicians? And he said to me, he says, well, he says, I like the Carter family about as good as anybody ever knew, or ever heard. And that warmed my heart, and I said to myself, that Woody's all right. So I'll give you a very nice Carter family song. It's not exactly a banjo song, but it's a nice song. And it's called My Dixie Darling. Dixie darling, listen to the song I sing. Beneath that silver moon, banjo right in tune. I love no one but you, heart's ever true, my Dixie darling, Dixie queen. Now I'm going down south to have a big time, see my girl in old Carolina, drink my booze and do as I please, for all them girls along to squeeze. Singing a song of Dixie darling, there's where I long to be going, down where the jelly roll growing with my Dixie queen. My Dixie darling, listen to the song I sing. Beneath that silver moon, banjo right in tune. I'd love one but you. Heart's ever true, my Dixie darling, Dixie queen. Yeah, by the way, it sounds like I hear some humming out there. If any of you folks know this song, hum along with me. Maybe we'll get something beautiful going. My Dixie darling, listen to the song I sing. Beneath that silver moon, banjo right in tune. I love one but you. Heart's ever true, my Dixie darling, Dixie queen. Way down south, the Mason-Dixie line, down where the honeysuckles are entwined, down where the southern winds are blowing, there's where the daisies growing. The girls of the north in the gay finery, whirling around so shyly, singing a song of Dixie, darling, where I long to be. My Dixie, darling, listen to the song I sing. Beneath that silver moon, banjo right in tune. I'd love one but you. Heart's ever true, my Dixie darling, Dixie queen. My Dixie darling, listen to the song I sing. Beneath that silver moon, banjo right in tune. I'd love one but you. Heart's ever true, my Dixie darling, Dixie queen. Mr. Rabbit, your ears mighty thin. Yes, bless God, been a cutting of wind. All your little children gonna shine, shine. All your little children gonna shine along. Mr. Rabbit, your feet's mighty long. Yes, bless God, been a put on wrong. All your little children gonna shine, shine. All your little children gonna shine along. Mr. Rabbit, your fur's mighty gray. Yes, bless God, been a put on that way. All your little children gonna shine, shine. All your little children gonna shine along. Mr. Rabbit, your tail's mighty round. Yes, bless God, she's upside down. All your little children gonna shine, shine. All your little children gonna shine along. I'm going to sing you a song that I haven't sang for a while, but it's one of the, back in 1956 when old Ramblin' Jack Elliott and we arrived in Europe. And I guess I was the first living, walking five-string banjo that hit these shores over this way. And old Jack was the first flat-picking guitar that they had. And we was singing all over Europe, in the streets and wherever we could. And I'll sing you one of the songs we used to sing in those days. Pretty good street song called Rich and Ramblin' Boy. and the love of my life. She was pretty, both neat and gay, caused me to rob the broad highway. Around it, yes, I do declare, and I made myself 10,000 there. Now I'm a rich, good rambling boy. Many a cities I did enjoy, and now I married me a pretty little wife, and I loved her dearer than the love of life. My mother said she's all alone. Sister said she has no home. The wife she left in sad despair, with an aching heart and a baby fair. Now I'm a rich, good rambling boy. Many a cities I did enjoy, and now I married me a pretty little wife, and I loved her dearer than I loved my life. Don't you bury me at all. Place me away in alcohol. The 44 put by my feet. Tell everyone I'm just asleep. Now I'm a rich, good rambling boy. Many a cities I did enjoy, and now I married me a pretty little wife, and I loved her dearer than I loved my life. Okay, this song is called Cluck, Old Hen, and it's a tragedy. You all know what hens are, kips, huh? Yeah. Everybody knows those kips. There's a lot of kips running around the place. And so, anyways, a song about these damn chickens. And the thing is, it's about this old farmer. And he was one of those kind of farmers. It was in the middle of Nebraska or Missouri somewhere. And he was one of those kind of farmers that liked to sleep late in the morning. And he'd get up around, 10:30 or 11 o'clock in the boarded there, and he'd rub his eyes and scratch, and go out and sit in the front porch and watch the sun go down. Well, one morning, it worked out all right because he had these damn chickens that felt just the same as he did, you know. They laid around the hen house all day and drinking coffee and talking bad about the rooster when he was gone, you know. So anyway, one day this old farmer, he wakes up. And geez, you know, he sits up on the floor. He couldn't afford a bed. He sits up on the floor and he's blinking his eyes and he looks out this hole in the wall there that he called a window. And he looks out this hole, you know, and he says, God, he blinks his eyes and he looks, you know, and he blinks his eyes and he rubs them and he looks again and finally he says, cracky, they're a-building a railroad. Well, he looks and he sees them building that railroad and he gets to thinking to himself, he says, by dang it all to hell. If I can get those lazy kips to lay eggs, I could sell them to the railroad workers, make a lot of money. Go to Holland for my vacation. So he gets up off the floor, you know, and he goes hobbling out there to the hen house, and he didn't put his pants on because he didn't have none. He couldn't. He was very poor. And he goes hobbling out there to the hen house, and he opens the hen house door, you know, and he looks in those old hens right in the eyes. Zap. And he says, listen here, you old hens, you. He says, you better start clucking or I'm going to eat you. Well, now this is where the tragedy comes in. The farmer told the hens to cluck, but he forgot to tell them to lay eggs too. So he ate them. Jesus, what a life. The life of a hen is a terrible thing. Okay, there's a little bit of the story. Here's a little bit of the song. Cluck, old hen, cluck when I tell you to go hen or I'm going to sell you. Last time you cackled in a lot. Next time you cackled in a pot. My old hen, she's a good old hen. She lays eggs for the railroad men. Sometimes one, sometimes 10. That's enough for the railroad men. Cluck, old hen, cluck and sing, you ain't laid an egg since way last spring. Cluck, old hen, cluck and squall, you ain't laid an egg since way last fall. My old hen, she's a good old hen, she lays eggs for the railroad men. Sometimes one, sometimes two, that's not enough for the railroad crew. Cluck, old hen, cluck when I tell you to go hen or I'm going to sell you. Last time you cackled in a lot. Next time you cackled in a pot. My old hen, she's a good old hen. She lays eggs for the railroad men. Sometimes one, sometimes 10. That's enough for the railroad men. Cluck, old hen, cluck and sing, you ain't laid an egg since way last spring. Cluck, old hen, cluck and squall, you ain't laid an egg since way last fall. My old hen, she's a good old hen. Eggs for the railroad men. Sometimes one, sometimes 10. That's enough for the railroad men. Talking about songs that I did one a while ago, like Dixie Darling, that it's not really a banjo song. Well, I'll give you another one. This one I did love, God alive, I sure did like this song all my life, see. But it's an old jazz song, and I tried for years to get it on the banjo and couldn't get it to save my soul. I tried and tried and tried. And then one night, I was sitting at home with in front of the stove there with my shoes off. It was cold outside. It was summer in Belgium. And I was fooling with the old banjo, or maybe the banjo was fooling with me. And all at once it just come out like that. And I was delighted. Ah, ziggity dog. And so I'll give you this song. It's called Trouble in Mind. Trouble in mind. Well, I'm blue, but I won't be blue always. Sun's gonna shine in my back door someday. I'm gonna lay my head on some lonesome railroad line. The 229 will pacify my worried mind. Trouble and love come to me, and it sure did blow my mind. Sometimes I feel like living, sometimes I feel like dying. Trouble in mind, well, I'm blue, but I won't be blue always. The wind's gonna come and blow my blues away. I'm gonna lay my head on some lonesome railroad line, where the 229 can pacify my worried mind. Trouble and love come to me, and it sure did blow my mind. Sometimes I feel like living, sometimes I feel like dying. Trouble in mind, well, I'm blue, but I won't be blue always. Sun's gonna shine in my back door someday. Tie 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 tie, tum tie tum tee. Tum tie, yeah tie tie, tie tie dee tie tum. Ta 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 tie, tum tie tum tie. There you go. Wow. Thank you. All right, knock it bell. I'll give you an old English song. Don't generally do this in public, because when I do, it always sounds like it come from Oregon or somewhere. But this is a pretty good one. It's kind of a sort of. It's kind of one of those, you know, one of those kind. An old love song, sort of. And it's called Apprentice in London. I was apprenticed in London, I used to see, my dear, the stars were always shining, the moon shone bright and clear. Rapped upon her window to ease her of her pain, and she rose to let me in when she barred the door again. Oh, your father and your mother in yonder room do lie, hugging one another, so why not you and I? Hugging one another without a fear or doubt, so hold me in your arms, love, and blow the candles out. Yum tie diddle dum tie dum tie tie da dee dum tie tie yum tie diddle dum tie dum tie tie da dee dum tie yum da dum da dee dum tie da dee tie dee tie tie yum tie diddle dum tie dum tie tie da dee dum tie. Geez, that would be a hard one to hum with, I must say. I wore myself out right then and there. Now if you prove successful, I just name it after me. Treat it sweet and dress it neat and daft it on your knee. When my days are over and I cannot gang about, why roll me in your arms, love, and blow the candles out. When I was apprenticed in London, I used to see, my dear, the stars were always shining, the moon shone bright and clear. Rapped upon her window to ease her of her pain, and she rose to let me in when she barred the door again. Well, since I'm in this tune, and I'll give you another one of these minor sort of things. Tell you what, I'll give you one I made up myself. And it's called The Valley. In fact, I made it up about this time of the year, but many years ago, down in a little town some of you probably heard of called Brussels. And it was bad. It was one of those bad times of the year. The cops was after me. The police, excuse me, was chasing me around the place trying to kick me out of Belgium. And Jesus, this is a bad time of the year to hit the road, huh? Because Jesus, you know, it gets cold. And so what I did, I was hiding out under in this cave, this old cellar underneath this old building, and slipping out at nights and going into restaurants and singing a bit and passing the hat around for a little money. Enough to keep me in food and vitamins, which meant whiskey and beer. More whiskey than beer. And while I was there, it was cold, didn't have a mattress or anything. I was sleeping on cardboard boxes. And for some reason, I don't know, things as bad. And so anyway, I was sitting there kind of down one day, and I got to thinking, well, Jesus, this is a downer. I sort of had my, hands under my arms, and my arms were sort of under my legs, and my head was down around my belly, and thinking about all this. And I just figured, well, making up kids' songs is, that's the thing to do, make up kids' songs, and it sort of, kind of carries you back to rosier times. So I started making up this song, but it got more serious and more serious. So I figured, well, geez, it's a bigger kid's song. Then it really got serious, and it got down into sort of minor tunings and this and that. And then I gave up, and I thought, oh, Jesus, it's a kid's song for all kids from 6 to 106. It's called The Valley. I haven't done this one for a while, so I might forget it. Autumn time is getting closer. Soon green leaves will start to fade. Dripping rain, they'll start to falling. Summer's gone and passed away. Children's hopes are like green tree leaves. They soon fade and tumble down. They come to rest in that lonesome valley, where they never can again be found. Dum-dee-tie-dum-da-tie-tie. Dum-dee-tie-dum-da-tie. Dum-dee-tie-dum-da-tie-tie. Dum-dee-tie-dum-da-tie. Children's hopes are like green tree leaves. They soon fade and tumble down. They come to rest in that lonesome valley, where they never can again be found. That lonesome valley's name is sadness. Flowers there are colored blue. Autumn leaves are colored sorrow. There's not many left to fall. Children's hopes are like green tree leaves. They soon fade and tumble down. They come to rest in that lonesome valley, where they never can again be found. Children's hopes are like green tree leaves. They soon fade and tumble down. They come to rest in that lonesome valley, where they never can again be found. Wind played rain will be the music played upon those falling leaves. Play deep within that frost-white valley. Summer's gone and passed away. Children's hopes are like green tree leaves. They soon fade and tumble down. They come to rest in that lonesome valley, where they never can again be found. Well, I think I've gone way over my time here, so I'll finish up. I'll give you give you one more, and then I'll go sit down and drink. It's better than drinking water. That's what I used to tell everybody when I boozed. I say, well, look at here. Water's no good for you because it rusts the pipes. Alcohol preserves them. Let's see, what'll I do for you? Tell you what, maybe I'll finish up with a song I made up myself again. Some of you might know this one. And it's called Portland Town. And it's a war protest song, an anti-war song. And one I made up, though, way before Vietnam. I made it up during the time of the Korean War. And the Korean War was a real bummer, too. It was like Vietnam, it was economic, the whole dirty business. But the hassle was, at that time, in the States, they had this Un-American Activities Committee going on. The during the McCarthy era. And so and then at the same time, they were saying on the radio and television and newspapers that if you hear anybody putting that war down or talking bad about that war, call the FBI or the police right away because they might be communist spies. Ridiculous, but a lot of people believed it. And so there was those that believed it. There were those that would have liked to said something against it, but were afraid to because of getting blacklisted and losing their jobs. It was truly witch hunts. And then there was others, many of us, myself included, that we did open our mouths and we did stand in front of the Un-American Activities Committee and lost our jobs and got beat up in the streets, etc. And it's a true song about an old couple I met while my ex-wife and I was staying on the beach down in Southern California. And these old people come down for a little vacation. They're maybe 65 years old. And they come down there and we got to be friends. And then they told me they'd always wanted a kid. And they finally had one. And they were so happy, a boy. They had a son. But he grew up and they sent him off to Korea and he was killed there, see. And Jesus, they were too old to have any more kids. And they were just, I've never, in all these years, this is no kidding, I've never been able to find a word that would describe how those people felt because they were smashed. A little bit of them was dead too. When they told me that story, it was really hard. And I really felt sad for them. So anyway, some months later up in Hollywood there in California, the old banjo and me was sitting down one evening visiting in our own way. She was talking more than me. And I was drinking a bottle of wine. I got to drink it all myself because my banjo doesn't drink. And I got to thinking of those people, and all at once I sort of projected myself into them and tried to imagine how I'd have felt if I lost my kids like that. And here's how it come out. I was born in Portland town. I was born in Portland town. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. I was married in Portland town. I was married in Portland town. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. Children I had 1, 2, 3. Children I had 1, 2, 3. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Frank, Jimmy, and Johnny made 3. Frank, Jimmy, and Johnny made 3. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Sent my children off to war. Sent my children off to war. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Killed my children 1, 2, 3. Killed my children 1, 2, 3. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Murdered my children, 1, 2, 3. Murdered my children, 1, 2, 3. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I won't have no kids no more. I won't have no kids no more. No, I won't. No, I won't. No, I won't. There you go.